Welcome into the LFC Transfer Room, a Monday afternoon stream, depending on where you're tuning in from. My name's Jack, joined today by Chris, and our special guest of today's stream, Samuel. How are you doing today, my man?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm decent-ish, in fact, obviously, with the Henderson news. But yeah, man, I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course. I mean, the Henderson news, it's a bit shocking, a bit startling. For everyone who's tuning in, let us know in the comments your thoughts on Henderson. So probably should summarize it first. Reports from David Ornstein and James Pearce at The Athletic that contract negotiations are stalling, and so Liverpool are considering selling him this window so they don't have a Wijnaldum situation where they lose him on a free in 2 years' time when his contract runs out. 31 years of age. Let us know in the comments your thoughts on FSG, on Henderson. And Chris, now that you're with us, what was your initial reaction when you saw the news about Jordan Henderson?
I thought it wasn't true. That was my initial reaction. And that is still my reaction. I still think it's complete and utter lies. Purely based on the fact that it just seems like agent baloney. They're trying to get him more money. But I would feel absolutely gutted if we did Jordan Henderson. If that actually did happen, I can't see it.
Can't see it. Samuel, your initial thoughts?
I've started it off. I'm not like trying to clickbait people in with my views. Straight away, it ain't happening.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I do feel as if someone's gonna compromise, whether it be the club or Thing himself. I can't lie, when I found out, I was shocked. Like Henderson, of all people, having issues with a contract. I don't even think that I was even aware about him having 2 years left on his deal. So that was kind of surprising. But yeah, man, I feel like it's a shock. But I have small hope that it will get solved. I don't feel as if he'll get sold. That'll be quite extreme. But yeah.
So if it came down to it, where there couldn't be a contract, like a negotiation done beyond 2023, are you running his contract out for 2 more years, or are you looking to get him out now when his value is probably the highest it ever is going to be?
I thought with Henderson, you have to give him what he wants because of what he's done. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel as if he's won trophies with us. He's led us to Premier League. Like, you can't just sell him. Do you know what I'm saying? I would personally give him at least it depends. Okay, with me, I think I would give him at least a 3-year deal. I think wages, of course, I'll put him probably in the highest earners. So with Salah, Van Dijk, etc. I think he's earned that. But I do feel as if he wants a 5-year deal or a 4-year deal, that is a kind of, I can see where the club comes from if they don't want to give him that. Let me say that.
Top earners, Chris. Are you okay with him falling in that bracket?
Right, I'm going to take all emotion. This is completely and utterly unlike me for those first watching. I'm going to take all emotion out of this. Logically, you can't give a 31-year-old who's got fitness issues. He'll only ever play 25 games a season max, probably, if that. You can't give him that sort of leverage. Whereas with a Mo Salah, you know that he's going to score you those goals. He's going to deliver performance-wise. Henderson is so vitally important. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I think he's vital in the way that we play. I think he's an unbelievable leader, as we all know. We don't even need to talk about this. And I really want him to retire at Liverpool. Okay, but top earners? Nah.
Fair enough.
I think I agree that.
I hate taking emotion out of it.
There is a push and pull between the logic of it, as you just mentioned, Chris, and then the emotion that should we be paying him as much as we pay him? So there are a lot of comparisons drawn to Gini Wijnaldum. So Klopp, reports are conflicting on how hard he tried to keep Gini. Do you see Klopp almost getting in the way? Because reports also suggest that if it was up to Klopp, the deal would be done. So do you think that this is going to be like a Wijnaldum situation, or that it is going to be, I guess, resolved more easily? Samuel, I'll go to you first on that.
I think with Gini, like, that was kind of sad because he was never injured. He probably would have went on until about 34 years old. And obviously he played like a good role in the team that won the title and the Champions League. So I think with Henderson, obviously I think he came out and said himself that he's not going to let it get to that. So he wants to either get it done this summer or leave this summer. So I don't think Klopp can get involved. Like, what can he really do? Like, obviously he's a manager, but at the end of the day, he's not the person who gives out the contracts. I feel like maybe if he wants to get involved, he might say a few words, but at the most, he can't really do much. Do you know what I'm saying? He can't really do much. Like, and I feel like a lot of the fans, like, we look at Klopp as more than a manager. Like, we look at him as someone who's like the father. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, he steps in when it's like something wrong. But obviously, he's the manager. I'm saying that, and like, we can't really put that responsibility and tell him, oh, Sam, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. That's with me still.
Chris, I'm interested if there's a price for you. As Dan mentions, Juve, PSG reportedly interested, but regardless of what rumors suggest, he could go to a pretty big side. I think that's can be agreed upon. Is there a price for you, Chris, where you kind of forget about the emotion and you realize that this might be a smart move to make this summer?
Give me 100 million. There's no price in Jordan Henderson. There's no price. Like,
realistically, how much would you put on him? That's quite tough to even say.
I don't think it's such a weird valuation, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's so vital to Liverpool. If that makes sense, he is 100. He's just 100 million. I love that, Dan. But he is more valuable to Liverpool than he is to anyone else.
Yeah.
So how we can put a valuation on him is going to be difficult. But yeah, if this happens, mate, I'd probably drive him to the airport, to be honest.
No. That's a bit hard.
I feel like if we're gonna put a value in him, like, let's be cold, I feel like probably looking at the 30 40 million.
Because of his age.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like, 34 million, that's kind of fair. It's kind of fair, yeah.
So 40 million pounds, he goes out, Saul comes in. How devastated are you? But
I think if Henderson leaves, we need two midfielders. I don't think we can just grab one midfielder. I think that we need two.
Yeah, the thing is, though, you're losing Wijnaldum. You're losing, if we potentially do, and I don't think we will. I still will reaffirm that I don't think this is going to happen. But we will, and we'll lose Milner next year because he's just old and he won't play as much. So, like, that's 3 leaders, and Adam Lallana we lost the year before. That's 4 big leaders you're losing there in such a short space of time, and we're going into another transition period when Jurgen leaves.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm scared. With Klopp leaving, I think I even tweeted this. I think there's like small signs that like the dynasty's coming to end. You know what I'm saying? Like, with these things happening. You know what I'm saying? Like with Henderson, Genie, Salah here and there. I feel like there's a few things that are coming out, and it's like there's a few issues. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a few issues that we have within the club that are like coming out, and it could affect us in the future with Klopp leaving as well.
You know, in my eyes, I think moving Henderson on in 2024, at least out of a first team role when Klopp moves on, I think makes sense. Kind of having a really big shift in 2024 when you move from Klopp to the next manager. That's what I've always envisioned. But reports suggest Liverpool want to make that kind of big change in 2022. So I think that the question I ask now is, for you, Chris, Samuel kind of mentioned that maybe we are past it. Like, is this group that won the Premier League, won the Champions League, is this group going to win another major trophy, Chris?
Of course we're not past it, mate. Come on. Jack. You sound like football Twitter.
I'm merely presenting the perspectives. I am devil's advocate personified.
You sound like football Twitter. You forget that it's only a year since we won the Premier League. A year. Okay, like that team. Okay, went on, had 4 seasons where it's just unreal. Yes, they were going to have to translate that now into a new. Anthony's just come in. He's fuming.
Anthony, my boy. Hey, real quick plug, Anthony. I picked your kit, if I'm not mistaken. No, I didn't. I picked Maddie's kit. There's on the YouTube channel, made an away kit.
Oh no, it's not playing enough, but
video.
it was playing there.
Go subscribe LFC Transfer Room. I'm upset, Anthony, that you backstabbed me there, but Chris, anyways.
But yeah, you can't say we're finished. We still finished third last season. I mean, and with the crowd back, with everyone back, I can't. I literally think I'm turning to Matty. I'm gonna walk the league next season.
So, but you say with everyone back. If Henderson isn't back, do we have a chance at the title, Samuel?
We still have a chance. Like he is not the be all and end all of Liverpool.
I wouldn't say he's the be all end all, but damage will be dealt if he leaves. There's damage there. Like we'll suffer a bit, and obviously we'll need other players to step up quite a lot. But I don't think we're past it. But I just feel as if there's just slowly signs of us just slowly just losing it. And I feel like with 2024, with Klopp leaving soon, and obviously Salah's, I think. Do you remember when Salah had that little issue with his agent?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I just feel like there's like small little things that are coming out, and it's like there's issues. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, when you look at like past teams, like with Ferguson, Chelsea, there was things like this that happened, and obviously slowly that brought that team to an end, if that makes sense. So obviously, like I feel like there's signs that we're slowly not going back to the old days, but like we need like a new cycle. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
That's why Alex Ferguson was so good, and I hate to say it on an LFC transfer room, because he did that cycle for 30 years. He rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt and rebuilt and kept building until his final season, where he left David Moyes with probably the worst team they'd had ever. So
I want to bring up something that we talked about before the stream, and it was about there's bigger, I think, issues that get drawn out by this debate about Fenway Sports Group. How should Liverpool be run as a football club? But Chris, you said before the stream that you'd be more upset if Henderson was to leave this summer than the European Super League, which, you remember back to that, Chris was the you were very emotional about that. So you kind of tell me more on your thoughts about the emotion of Henderson leaving in comparison to what we've had under FSG in the last 6 months.
Well, I'll say this. You know, we've come up with the 10 years of Henderson stream. We've had like celebrations of the bloke. He's become not just a player, and I think he's so vital in the changing room, on the field, off the field, not only for Liverpool but for England and for the whole Premier League. Actually, he's probably the greatest ambassador the Premier League has seen for a long time. I think he is just. I don't have the words. Maybe I was a little bit overreacting with the whole, because Super League was the entirety of football, let alone Liverpool. But Hendo, it would be really painful. It would be, because you feel like you've gotten to know this really sound fella. Yeah, and it would be horrible, man.
So Samuel, I kind of want to get your read on how realistic this is. We've kind of talked about it a little bit, but some people are saying strong arm tactic from the agent. Others saying it has a bit more reality behind it. Your position on how real the possibility of Henderson leaving either in 23 or this summer is.
I feel like it's definitely real. Like I don't feel as if Henderson himself would want these things like to come out if it wasn't real. So I feel like it's definitely real. I do feel as if there will be a compromise on someone's side. But yeah, man, like I do feel as if it's real. I just hope that just off him, like just compromise. Like it's Henderson, like he's been there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like he's been there for I think it's been 10 years now, I think. And like I just feel like with certain players like Henderson, like I know obviously with the injuries, with like his fitness lately, it's been quite bad, but I do feel as if the club can just find a way, just find something, just to, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like it's definitely real. And I do feel as if I hope that there will be a compromise. Hopefully. I do feel as if there will be still. But, yeah.
I think it's a very good point that I don't think anybody really is in the wrong. Liverpool for having reservations about a player with his injury, his age. But Henderson also saying, look, I've been your captain. I've done all this for you. I think I deserve a bit more. And I mean, there were always going to be the comparisons to Gerrard. You think about when Gerrard left, kind of forced out of the club about only a few months before Klopp arrived. Do you see the comparisons? Are they valid comparisons in your eyes, Chris?
Nah. Stevie's coming towards was 34, 35, I believe.
Yeah, 34.
Yeah, so it's like it's a little bit different. If Henderson was 34, I think it'd be similar, but he's still got years in his prime left. I think he's still got this year and next year. I think the two that he'll still be in his prime before he starts winding down. He's an unbelievable athlete as well. He looks after himself, so he will go for a long time. Still, I still think that even with his injuries, but not comparable to Gerrard, I don't think. And it was a little bit more hurtful with Gerrard because of what Rodgers putting him on the bench at the Bernabeu, and like he didn't look after him the way that he should have done, and that's one of his biggest, I think, his biggest regrets of being Liverpool manager, Brendan Rodgers. I'll never forgive him for it, really, because if Gerrard had played under Klopp, maybe we'd have seen him for maybe an extra year or two, but that's the way it is. But we can't hold on, because people do move on. We move on every day. We get used to new realities. So yeah, we can't think it would be the end of the world if Hendo left. But it was the same when Gerrard left. Everyone thought it would be the end of the world, but we move on, and then we got to the Europa League final the next season. So
I think moving on slightly, very slightly, to Saul, the other player in the thumbnail. So a lot of rumors about his potential swap deal with Antoine Griezmann between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Supposedly that move has cooled down because Barcelona are paying Griezmann like £800,000 a week or something crazy like that, and Atletico are just wanting them to pay half of it. So a lot of issues on the Barcelona side of things, making that move tough. Samuel, we haven't really gotten this is your first appearance on the stream. Your thoughts on Saul, and if you would like to see him at Anfield.
So obviously, I'm gonna lie, I haven't really seen him play too tough. I think I watched him play a few times, innit? So obviously, when I found out that we're in for him, I did like a bit of research, and obviously, he does seem like the right player to bring in. I think he'll cost around like 40 million. I think it was. Obviously, he's been injured for a combined of 10 games since 2015. You know what I'm saying? So.
Very comparable to Wijnaldum.
Yeah, so like he fits the bill, and obviously he's got the Champions League experience. He's competed for titles, so to me, it's a win-win situation. And I would like to see him at Anfield, but obviously, I don't like the thing where if a player wants to come, they want to come. Like I don't really like this stalling thing. I do feel as if a club should only go in for for a player if they want to come to the club, and I do feel as if right now. He might be trying to play with us, but I would like to see him. I can't lie, like I would like to see him at Anfield. Yeah.
Chris, we talked about Saul in the past, but with all the rumors happening in the last few days, weeks, your optimism of the transfer actually happening.
Nah, not. I don't think it will. Not for me. I would personally like it, but I don't think he's the sort of profile we're looking for now. Maybe last season. If it was happening last season, I'd have been more sort of
Thiago, right?
Yeah, exactly like Thiago. But I think we're looking for the younger age bracket now, and maybe we'll have to pay a premium for someone of that age. Talking of these four here,
is 26 old?
Yeah, well, he's not old. Of course, he's not old, but he is 27 in a month or so. So maybe that puts a slight edge. He's only 3 years from 30, so.
I think in my eyes, I think Saul makes a lot of sense to keep Henderson with, because right as you'll want to have Saul at his prime, that's probably when you want to phase Henderson out a little bit in about a year or two. So you think 28, 29, when Saul's at his best, that's when maybe Henderson shifts out of the first team picture into more of a rotation picture. So I think everyone would love Bellingham. I mean, he's tweeted like a Gerrard comp or two, or like his passing, and then everyone just goes insane because he's talking about us.
He'll cost a lot of money. I feel like it costs a lot of money.
Yes.
As we sell someone, I can't happen right now.
Yeah. No, I think that next 2022, as Anthony mentions, like that's when I could see Bellingham. That's when I could see it potentially happening. But again, potentially. So I think it's also been very interesting, the changing of expectations. We've kind of went from wanting 3, 4 signings to now we just want to keep Henderson. What should our priorities be this window? Should it be keeping Henderson and getting a backup to the front three? Should we address our depth issues at maybe right backs and Nico Williams? I know Chris is a big Nico Williams fan. But Sam, I'm interested. Oh, Nico Williams debate here?
I'm not having this. Don't disrespect my boy.
How, man? He's not good enough, man.
I love him.
As what? As a player or as a person?
I just love him. No more comment.
Samuel, I don't think there's a logical argument you can make for Chris to not like him. It's just one of those guys. Like, my guy is Naby Keita. I will love Naby Keita until he goes, but I recognize that, and this is actually a very interesting issue. There are also reports that Keita might get a contract extension, not Henderson. People say Adrian got a contract extension, not Henderson.
I mean, it's sort of like, that GIF you put on where it's like graph and no correlation.
Yeah.
It's like that is it.
Yeah. And I can't lie, like, just your question about what should we prioritize. I think in the ideal world, we should want to try and do everything in a way. So I do feel as if we need Henderson to stay, but at the same time, go and get another midfielder and also supplement the front three. And possibly, I'm not too fussed on the right back role because I feel like with Milner, he can do that and he's done that quite well. And Gomez, if he gets back to fitness, I do feel as if Gomez can do that role as well. So with the right back, I'm not too fussed, but obviously in ideal world, we want to get a good backup right back. But yeah, like I do feel as if that's in the ideal world, but I think under the FSG umbrella, I do feel as if probably just keep Henderson, get one midfielder, get a cheap forward. That's probably what they're looking at. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think if we want to, because I do feel as if we're still going to compete for the title next season, but I do feel like if you want to like make a statement or proper let other clubs know that we're here for like to stay, I do feel as if we need to splash in either the midfield or the attack. As in, I feel like we need a marquee signing type in either one of those positions. So yeah,
I think we are starving for a marquee signing, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
I think what would be interesting is that the wages are actually a very good point. Saul could get way better wages. I was actually looking at Manchester United's wage bill versus Liverpool's, and where Henderson would have fit in is remarkably lower down there versus where he would be here. So you may look and say a Harry Maguire or someone else at these other top clubs making X amount of money, so I should make in this too. So it's a tough debate there. But looking at the Saul versus if he was to sign, does Saul bench Henderson next season in the midfield? And if he does, or if there's an argument for that, does that make you more not interested, but does that open up the possibility of selling Henderson in maybe the eyes of FSG?
Me personally, he benches Henderson. I thought if I feel like we need to have, I think, 4 or 5 midfielders for that 3 that we play. So I feel like Fabinho and Thiago are probably a given. And I feel like with Henderson, Klopp's going to want to manage him. Because obviously, I don't feel like this guy can play Saturday than a Champions League game. So I do feel as if rotation, it'll be key. And I do feel like he'll probably be the most rotated midfielder. Let me put it like that. I don't feel as if he'll be benched for the whole season, but I do feel like he'll probably be the most rotated player in that midfield. So yeah,
I reckon that. One of my favourite sayings that I like to muse out on this transfer room is there is no such thing as a nailed-on starting 11. You can't, as you said, you will come into bench Henderson. Yeah, he will for one game, and then he'll bench Saul for the next. So, I think as Sam said, we need 5, possibly 6 midfielders plus a kid to to compete with the energy levels that they have to bring. So
there's kind of switching gears a little bit. There's been a lot of angst, I think is probably the right word to say, on Liverpool Twitter, football Twitter.
When isn't there?
Especially now, considering the options Liverpool are considering as backups with, Connor Bradley as the potential backup right back if Nico Williams was to leave, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain as a number 9. Much more. Now, Samuel, let me point out that Chris actually mentioned this about a week before, like, Ox's interview or whatever on Liverpool's Twitter page. So he's been an activist for Ox as the number 9.
Ox as the 9, boys. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening.
Me personally, West Ham come and take him 20 million. I will snap your hand off. Like, I can't lie. With me, I feel like Ox and Keita should be put up for sale. Personally, like I feel as if we paid money for them, and of course the injuries is like it's not their fault. But I just feel like, come on, like, you can't afford to have someone who's gonna be gone for like 20 games or like for 9 months. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, anyone who comes in for Ox, I will snap your hand off 15, 20 million, and he's gone for me. And I don't feel as if he should play as 9. I don't feel that I don't feel like he'll be prolific enough. Like, of course, Firmino isn't really a goal scorer, but I don't feel as if he'll sit there. Me personally, I'm not like I won't lie. I'm not his biggest fan.
I'm with Anthony on this one. He's there to warm the bench. He's a good option.
Yeah, like
I'm going for an unpopular opinion. All right,
huh?
Ox is the 3rd best finisher in the football club.
Wait. So give me your names. So Salah, obviously.
Salah and Mane. That's it. And then Ox. Yeah.
Where's my boy Diogo?
Oh, actually, yeah, Jota as well. Throw Jota in there. That's 3. There you go. 3. He's a 4th best finisher at the club.
Is he better than? Okay. Maybe probably better than Firmino. Is he better than a Trent?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, fair enough.
I think saying he's the 4th best finisher is like, is that much of an accomplishment considering the finishing quality of this football club? And I think Origi might give him a run for his money.
No, he wouldn't. No.
From that belly miss, no way.
That does look.
I've just seen the view numbers drop after I said that. Yeah, I think he's class personally. I just think he just needs to get going again. It's the same with all of them. He's got one more chance this summer, this season. Same with Keita, same with a lot of them. So
I know it's crazy. How many players were given one more shot to. If it's Keita, if it's Ox, if it's Origi. And I think, in my opinion, this is a much broader debate, but I think it's why Jurgen Klopp's the best manager in the world. He's got not no resources, obviously, but what he's managing to get out of these players has been nothing short of tremendous. And if we win a trophy next year with the limited amount of investment we've had in the last 3 seasons, I'd be remarkably impressed. Naby Keita, Sam, I'm interested in your thoughts on him because I always like to pose this to anybody who will listen to me. Are you a Naby Keita? I mean, Naby Keita, it's tough to say in or out because it's kind of like in if there's no one buying him, out if we get a good enough bid. That's how I feel pretty much. I'm on your side.
KO was my guy, man. Like, I loved him when he came through. And obviously, he had like a few games where he played proper well. He's my guy still, but like, right now, I've kind of like washed my hands off him. Like, I'm like, if you come back and you play well, okay, thank you. If you go, then okay, thank you. Like, I haven't got any real attachment to him anymore. I did when he came back from injury this season, but right now I'm kind of like, yeah, man. Like, you've run your race. You haven't really played quite well a few times this season. And yeah, man, like with me, if he stays, okay. If you don't, I don't really care to when it's like, I'm gonna lie, yeah.
My emotional investment in Keita, I was just in January, like early this year, after the fitness rehab program or whatever it was. I was just saying, he's back. He's gonna be fit. No more injury problems. He got more muscle or whatever. He's not gonna have these injury problems. and then he drops a stinker against Madrid, and then I don't think he played after that.
That stinker was that was horrific. That was. Well, I don't want to put like the blame on him, because I do feel as if the whole team played poor that first half, anyways. But yeah, man,
yeah. I think that is the case with a lot of these players. So I think I don't want to get into a big FSG and FSG out debate, but I do think it's the fact that we are. I don't know if waiting for players to get sold is a bad thing necessarily. But should there be more ambition in your eyes, Chris, in how we're pursuing targets and how we're trying to address needs in the squad?
I think there is ambition. Now, it might be a controversial take. I might get hate once again, but I think the best way Liverpool have ever been run is when people know nothing. And I think we know nothing. If I'm honest, I think James Pearce and The Athletic are, or any reliable journalist, they'll get nothing out of Liverpool. You just think when Fabinho signed, Thiago rumours went away for a bit and then he signed. All of these players, we were going to sign Skodran Mustafi as our centre back in January, and I was fully ready for that, by the way.
same.
But I do think we are showing ambition. We will show ambition at the right time. I don't know whether that's now or not, but I just think there is stuff going on behind the scenes. We've got to remember that when we think, because I'm not, again, Henderson could be an agent ploy. What we're being told might not be true, which is a little bit frustrating.
Yeah. I do feel as if I agree to your point to a certain extent, because I do feel as if there is ambition, but I don't feel as if there's enough ambition. Like, I do feel as if last season with the Thiago and Jota signings, they came out of nowhere, and it was clear that the clubs saw that, all right, cool, we need to boost our players up. So I do feel as if there's ambition, but like with me, I feel like we're just like one or two marquee signings away from having a team capable of competing on all fronts, and I do feel as if FSG are quite stiff on trying to like have a bit of leeway just to give us that success. And obviously, I don't blame them. Obviously, they have a model, they have to go through that, and obviously, that. But I just feel as if we're so close to having a team that's just able to do everything. And obviously, yeah, I just feel as if there's ambition, but just not enough, or maybe there is enough, but they don't want to give in to, that. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I think it's tough to gauge when to react to rumors. Like, how upset should we be about this Henderson rumor? Because exactly what it is a quoteless article from The Athletic, which is very high reputation, very high credibility. They're not wrong a lot, but at the end of the day, there's not a crazy strong voice behind that. Rumors about Saul, not a ton of great voices behind that. Every rumor that exists, it's tough to know when, and we know this all full and well. We're trying to make rumors, trying to make content, and we're going to be wrong 99% of the time because of how hard it is to read this side. But Samuel, you mentioned that we're one or two key moves away from being able to compete. Where do you see the squad lacking, or what do you want to see added to get to the point where you think we could compete on all fronts?
I think if you brought in, I'm going to put two players down. So let's say that you brought in a Saul. I think that will seriously boost up our midfielders. And I do feel as if bringing in a high quality attacker. So let me use someone, for example, you can use as an example.
Marlon before the stream.
I feel like Marlon will be a good signing, but I feel like he's just below the bracket that I'm looking at. So let's say Pedro Neto, for example. Like, I feel like he'll cost quite a lot of money, but I feel like if we bring him in, I feel like he would be able to give us Rafinha, that one. Yeah, him. Yeah.
I know.
If we brought him in, I feel like that's automatic competition for Salah. He will definitely push someone out or compete quite heavily. So I think someone like Saul or a Rafinha to just give those guys actual competition and give those guys, like, I feel like I feel like Salah's okay, but I feel like Firmino and Mane, they need someone there to be like, you're not gonna be able to slack and be able to play all these games. I'm saying, so yeah.
You think about what Jota did, the kick in the pants that he was able to do. When Mane wasn't able to perform, Jota came in, and his injury was almost as detrimental to our title push as Van Dijk's was, because we were around, if not top, when Jota went down in the Midtjylland game or whatever.
Like I just feel like spending. I feel like Rafinha would be about 60 million or maybe a bit more, but I feel like just biting the bullet and just paying that money would definitely put us in that conversation for probably the double, or like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Kind of wrap this stream up. Circle back on Jordan Henderson for those who are just joining. For those who are I don't know, just joining. Chris, how you're feeling now about a couple hours after the, I don't want to say bombshell news, because it wasn't really like news. It was just a report, rumor. Where are you at on Henderson, Chris?
I'm still in the it's not going to happen boat. I'm still in the it's an agent ploy boat. But it is slightly concerning that when that, and I don't know how the players will feel out in Austria with reading those reports today, because I'm sure they will have. And I'm not sure what if it's common knowledge throughout the club. So yeah, hopefully it doesn't rock the boat too much, and we can move on when Henderson signs a new contract next week.
That always interests me. How much do these players read the transfer rumors? How much do they see? I mean, I know Van Dijk chirped at what was it, a Mirror article about it? Yeah. That was, I was like,
that's my brother.
Samuel, your last word on Henderson, his contract departure.
My last words: Henderson stays. Hopefully, there's a compromise. I do feel if someone's gonna compromise. I don't think he'll be sold. I don't think that he'll be sold. And yeah, hopefully he stays and we'll just move on swiftly. Hopefully by next week or something, just get some good news. But yeah, that's my last words.
Can only hope for good news, as you mentioned. Well, Samuel, thank you very much for joining the stream. It was a pleasure having you on. Hopefully to have you on again, and hopefully we get some better news next time that we have you on, because we don't want to be talking about our captain potentially leaving the football club. Some great engagement in today's stream. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Go subscribe to LFC Transfer on YouTube. Follow our ads right here, wherever they are. And you catch us on all social medias, LFC Transfer. But for myself, Jack, for Chris, for Samuel, thanks for tuning in to today's stream. We'll catch you next.